People lost their shit because James Bond actor Pierce Brosnan advertised Pan Bahar, thereby promoting tobacco consumption. Brosnan later said that he had absolutely no idea that he was advertising a tobacco product. That's funny. It's not like you should know what you're advertising. It's such an absurd notion. Brosnan's net worth is around $80 million. It would cost around $60 million to buy 1.4 million contract smartphones in Ireland, each with a basic Vodafone 4G connection with 3 gigabytes of data. In other words, Brosnan could Google what Pan Bahar is known for at least 1.4 million times simultaneously and would still have more money than you and I will probably ever make combined. Or maybe you'll make much more than that because maybe you are better than I am. Who knows? Certainly not me. I am stupid. But wait, Brosnan said that the contract with Pan Bahar explicitly stated that he'd be advertising a tobacco-free product, a breath freshener. So it really wasn't his fault, right? But I mean, there was obviously something that they missed, right? Maybe the bond was made for a tobacco-free product, but also allowed Pan Bahar to use Pierce's face for other products that completely had carcinogenic agents. And if Pierce and his legal team looked more carefully, they'd spy something. Instead, they just went ahead and said, Roger that. Maybe his legal team was inept at dealing with contracts. I bet Hart and Holmstrom could help them. Oh, you don't know who they are? Of course you don't, because they're the Nobel laureates this year that people do not care about. But according to Pan Bahar, the contract was not broken. And not because Brosnan was legally tricked into advertising tobacco or something, but because he apparently didn't advertise tobacco at all. According to Pan Bahar, he advertised a product with 0% tobacco. So what's the deal? How do we crack this one? Well, you probably don't need a genius to tell you that when Royal Stag is advertising CDs or Tuborg is advertising Club Soda, that's not what they're really advertising. They're trying to sell booze. They can't advertise alcohol directly because our law doesn't allow the direct advertisement of alcohol. Similarly, Section 5 of the Kotpa and Article 15 of the Hufuktuk controls direct advertisement of tobacco. So tobacco companies find all sorts of ways to get their product out there. One way is point of sale marketing, which means placing your product at the literal point of sale in a market, like at the checkout counter at a supermarket. You ever notice how cigarette packs just conglomerate over there? Another marketing technique is the same one alcohol companies use, where you technically market something else on TV, but we all know what it is, you know? So as per contract, I'd reckon that Pan Bahar is probably right. As a legal technicality, they did only advertise a projectile weapon. No, wait, I mean a breath freshener. But as a practicality, they advertised what they really wanted to sell, which is tobacco. Can we criticize this? Well, it's not an easy question. Marketing is a means to propagate your product. So can we criticize any firm that tries to market its own product? We can if it kills 5.4 million of its own customers every year. The whole point of a business is to make profit by supplying a product that's in demand. An essential part of that process is advertising. We can tax noxious goods and impose all sorts of controls on advertising, but as long as there exists the business, there exists an incentive to advertise. So businesses will come up with all sorts of clever techniques to market their shitty products, just as they always have. So if we truly believe that controlling tobacco should be a social responsibility, so if we get rid of the business, we ban tobacco, we're getting rid of the businesses, get rid of the craving? I think by now we've all seen the answer.
Oh, what's that? I pronounced that last pun wrong? Well, I'll just let my friend here give you my response to that.
Do I look like I give a damn?